Hello friends and welcome. We're starting out our video right in the middle of one of our nightly awakenings. I like to start out our night feeds by unswaddling and a diaper change to gently wake him up. I like to feed on demand rather than on a set schedule, but sometimes I feel like he does need my help to fully wake up, or else he starts falling asleep before he's done feeding. Look at those cute stretches. He does this every time and I am in love. I noticed that naturally he likes to feed about every hour and a half to 2 hours. If I'm really lucky, he might push it to 3 hours in the middle of the night, but that's pretty rare. About a week ago, he must have been going through a growth spurt because he was cluster feeding every 30 minutes for about 3 days. It was really exhausting. Unfortunately, Mason has super bad acid reflux, so I always make sure to keep him sitting upright for at least 30 minutes after a feeding, and the Boppy pillow has become really handy for that, especially when I'm pumping and I can't always be holding him as I'm getting set up. I usually pump right after a feeding session. Sometimes I pump during a feeding, but you have to be really creative with how to hold him that way because the pump likes to get in the way and it can be really annoying. After my pump, I immediately go and bag it and store it in my fridge. I am able to pump for the day ahead and exclusively use breast milk. I do sometimes feed directly from the breast, but more often we put the breast milk in the bottle and feed it that way so we can measure exactly how much my baby is getting, and then we also have the convenience of my husband picking up some of those feeds. Now, I always do the night feeds, but sometimes he'll pick up a morning feed. That way I can squeeze in an extra longer stretch of sleep. At the end of the day, if I ever have any bags left that my baby hasn't drank, then I just go ahead and pop them in the freezer. That way I can create a little bit of a supply for it in the future. I can often sense when my baby is starting to get restless, which means that he will soon wake up and ask to be fed. So when I can, I try to run and grab my coffee first before I start that morning feed, just so I can kind of start the day off right and get some energy. I usually have like a minute or two before he does wake up. So I'm just grabbing my coffee, some water, and I'm going to prep his bottle. And in his morning bottle, I like to put in a vitamin D drop. Like I mentioned earlier, I pump for the day ahead. So here I am grabbing yesterday's milk that was pumped at this time. So I can go ahead and feed that to my baby now. It's really important to me that I always keep all my pumping sessions. That way, when I go to feed him, I can always give him a milk that was made at that time. Because as you may know, milk produced at different times of the day have different components, which I think is just so amazing that our human bodies are even capable of that. So after his feed, I am going to go set him up right so he can, process that food for about 30 minutes. to prevent acid reflux the best that we can. And then the morning pump is the only pump where I'm actually like standing up, and at this pump I like to get myself ready for the day, and then if I have extra time then I'll like replug it by the sink and do some dishes. Didn't have time for that today. I always try to find a chance in my day to get myself ready for the day, even if I'm not going anywhere, because I feel like it just makes you feel better and it makes you more productive. At least for me, that's what it does. My goal was to finish pumping while he was sitting up, but that clearly didn't work out. Here we are together. Here I am prepping my bottle for the next feed. I like to prep my bottles beforehand if I can, because I feed on demand. He usually goes from 0 to 100 real quick, and then I don't have time to make the bottle then, so I like to have it ready to go. Good morning, friends, and welcome to today's vlog. Today is a day to life with a newborn. I am a first-time mom, and my little baby boy is 4 weeks old. In fact, today he is officially 1 month old, so he is 4 weeks and 2 days. He is actually currently asleep in the living room bassinet, which doesn't always happen in the morning, but when it does, I try to take advantage of that time to clean up the house, do some dishes, and just tidy up where I can. Whenever he's sleeping during the day, I always try to keep him in the sunlight. That way he still has the idea that it is daytime. And I try not to like limit my noises too much so that he does hear like the moving around and he's not like in a deep sleep, because if I don't do this, I feel like at nighttime it's a struggle bus, and we don't want that. It's not fun for anyone. The dishes are done. I'm gonna go ahead and take this time, since he's still sleeping, to go ahead and clean my pump parts. Now, I don't usually clean them between sessions. I stick them in the fridge, but then I try to boil them at least once a day. Honestly, whenever I can find a moment to do so, because it does take a minute. This is the soap that I use for my pump parts and also my bottles. The soap was actually gifted to me from one of my teacher friends, and she was kind of telling me about how she feels like regular dish soap breaks apart like the different fats and nutrients in breast milk, and I exclusively use breast milk, so it's really important to me that that doesn't happen, and it honestly never would have even occurred to me until she had mentioned it. That's one of the great things about whenever other moms can give you suggestions as a first-time mom, because really there's so much to learn and there's so much that I wouldn't even know or consider or think about. So what I like to typically do is I like to disassemble it all and rinse all the parts. Then I go in with soap and give them a nice scrub and rinse them all off again, and then I boil them. And life hack, if you don't do this already, I like to use a pasta strainer whenever all the parts have been boiled to pour my parts into. It's a really easy way to just get all the parts out of the boiling water. Hi. Hi, my love. Just finished putting up the laundry, and our next feeding isn't till 41 minutes unless he decides that he is hungry. But if we have some time, I'm gonna go ahead and start to read my Bible. I'm actually just gonna listen to the audio version on the Bible app. I find that to be easier for me, because if he needs something from me, I can still be listening. Isn't that right? Isn't that right, baby? It is already time to pump again. It is exhausting, but I know that it's good for my baby, so it's worth it. But see how simple it is to just pour all the pump parts into the strainer? It definitely beats like trying to fish them out of the boiling water. I remember when I initially put this pump together for the first time, it was so confusing to me, and now I feel like if I was like timed, I could do it pretty fast. All right, I'm gonna go pump. Mommy, let's change your diaper. The hubby brought me a frappe. I was trying to make little hand and footprint ornaments with clay. It turned out horrible, so instead I'm going to paint it onto a circle of clay. So this morning I actually ran out of breast milk bags and I was using the motif ones. Today I'm going to try the parent choice ones. I haven't tried these yet, but I saw a lot of good things about these on TikTok. So I'm going to use them for a little bit and I'll keep you guys updated on what I think about these in a future video. Comment down below which breast milk storage bags that you use. So this one's kind of interesting. It has like this curved top like this. I kind of wish that it had a little slot where you can like write the time in, but it's okay. So one thing that I don't love about the opening is that it makes it like slightly easier for your milk to kind of like pour out if you don't pour it just perfectly in comparison to my previous bags. But the bag quality itself feels like really nice quality. Also in comparison to the previous bags I used, I will say that the ounces on this are the most accurate. My hubby is giving Mason a feed as I fix dinner tonight. Dinner is really simple. It's just 2 pounds of ground beef, spaghetti, garlic bread, and then a 7-vegetable blend for a side, and some boiled eggs. This year I actually made spaghetti sauce from fresh tomatoes from my vegetable garden for the first time. It was super cool. Today we're not doing that. We're just using some canned spaghetti sauce. Don't judge me, okay? At least I made some food. As a mom of a newborn, I feel like you're just trying to survive. So if you eat that day, it's always a bonus. You're so nice and soft. Oh, I love your little toesies. I absolutely love these dresser drawer organizers and my nursery. It makes sorting clothes by item and size so easy, and I can easily see what everything is and quickly pull something out. I have purchased them 3 times now. I absolutely love them. They also make a really great gift. I have them linked down below in the description on my Amazon storefront. I definitely recommend you check them out. I think I'm actually going to go with this little set right here. It is so adorable. So we just took Mason's 1 month pictures, and I think we're both ready for bed. So we're gonna get ready for bed now. He pick out his nighttime clothes. This is going to be Mason's nighttime sleeper. We are all ready for bed.